New mask. Same task.
That's D23 music.
Boom. Whosoever hears this audio, if they be worthy, shall possess the inside human and superhuman abilities of the world's mightiest metahumans, accompanying his journey of high-quality nerd commentary. We got my son Colton, a.k.a. Pizza Parker. Talk to the
Your
people.
boy Colton, a.k.a. my ADHD came out just now, and it threw Dennis off guard.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, we gonna go.
Hey,
We gonna go. Fuck it.
Yeah, but it's your boy Colton, a.k.a. 100 mil, a.k.a. 80 mil, but then you split that in half, and then you split that in half for two different movies, because these niggas is not like the first nigga.
Yo.
A.k.a. have you seen The Gray Man?
Yo.
A.k.a. The Last of Us, but it's 4.
The last 4 of us.
The last 4 of us. A.k.a. Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. Yo, we did it, y'all.
Yo. And as always, you got my son Gas in here, fooling around. He keeping us back on track. He getting us back on track. We get back on track because we don't want to gas. And you know who it is? Your boy Dennis, aka Old Dirty Dennis, aka Eastside Gun, aka Victor Von. Boop, 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 nigga.
Facts. Big facts. Big air facts.
Yo, welcome to another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast, bro. How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I gotta roll up for this one.
Woo.
We're gonna do some pocket watching.
We're gonna do some doom watching. We're in niggas' pockets. Know what I mean?
We're gonna check out the Fantastic Four. We're gonna see what they doing.
We guesstimating, nigga.
We guesstimating.
Science in this episode. There's a lot of shit happening in this episode.
A lot of shit happening.
Know what I mean?
We're looking through niggas' windows like Galactus.
Yeah. Dead ass. That's how I'm looking at niggas' pockets.
I heard y'all giving out money over here.
Yo, so all right, so this episode, because if you guys have been paying attention, we kind of strategically skipped most of the Marvel San Diego Comic-Con D23. We haven't really gave y'all the full episode on that because it felt like it was too much to talk about. And obviously the biggest thing that came away from that was Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Victor Von Doom. Because for a very long time, everyone was just like, yo, who the fuck is going to be Doom? When are we going to fucking get Doom? And, for a while, it kind of quieted down because we had Jonathan Majors as Kang, and that nigga let white women fuck up his life. So he was out of here. So everyone was just like, so...
I seen that nigga run out that car.
Yo.
Yeah, man, that nigga's running away from his career right now.
Yeah, that's it. And then after that, everyone was just like, so Doom now? And it was just like, yo, who are they going to get for Doom? Like, there were definitely a lot of good fan casts. And when, they got on stage and the Russos were there and we had like all the Doom mask on shit. And we were just like, who the fuck is this going to be? Who the fuck is this? And then nigga pulls off the mask and there's Robert Downey Jr. And everyone's like, wait, what? That was my initial reaction because I was like, wait, what?
How do you feel about this?
All right.
I want to hear your opinion first.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about this from 2 different ways. I'm going to talk about it as a fan and I'm going to talk about it from the business aspect because you have to factor in
the business.
Yeah, you got to understand. You got to factor in the business aspect. So as a fan, I'm interested, and I'm going to explain why I'm interested. Because one, it looks like an ass pull. Obviously, that's the business aspect. It's like, yo, he's going to put butts in seats. We know that. 2.
Oh shit! I like the way you use ass pull just now.
See what I did? Ass pull, butts in.
Wait,
bro.
Come on. You just added a whole new context to it.
You see what I
just made it positive.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But it was like double Andre. Don't even ask him how.
Yo, off the dome.
Because we know this nigga ass pull. They pulling the ass. Come on,
man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue. This nigga's a
7
genius,
straight
y'all.
summers. Critics might not admit it.
Yeah, continue.
Nah, but it is an ass pull, obviously. But at the same time, it works within the frame of the MCU. And I think one of the things that fans got upset about, and I don't think they think about, is while the MCU is based on the comics, it is not the comics. And this isn't the first time they strayed away from something and made it work within the MCU universe. Perfect example of that. There's no possible way to sum up all of Civil War in a 2-hour movie. If you've read the comic book arc, that is a very long arc with many moving pieces. You have Punisher, you have Hulk, you have Spider-Man. Like, a lot of people are going through a lot of shit. We had the Void, we had Fantastic Four.
Cap got
Yeah,
shot.
we had
like it was mad crazy.
it was
shit happening.
way too much stuff. So what they had to do was take the essence of what that was, which was two opposing sides that were friends, and force them into a situation where they saw it on different terms and made them fight, which is the essence of Civil War. We had that, and we changed it around based on the Sokovia Accords, with Bucky in the middle, with Cap and Iron Man on each side. That movie happened. The movie was fucking fantastic, and nobody hated it, even though it was not Civil War. If you read the Civil War books, again, that's not the first time they've done that either. Like, they've done it across the MCU because they had to make it work within their universe. Like, you don't tell the exact same story that already happened. I could just read the comics. So when we got this Iron Man, which is basically Robert Downey Jr. Being Victor Von Doom, again, like everyone else, my thing was, what? But then you also have to think about, they just spent an entire phase explaining there's a multiverse with different versions of every fucking body. We met the other two Spider-Men, which wasn't an asshole because they exist in their different universes. We're just already familiar with those universes. Now, with Robert Downey Jr. and Fantastic Four, we're now becoming familiar with that universe. We're now learning about this universe where, Tony exists. This version of Tony exists, and he doesn't have the friends that he has. Because, like I've said on this podcast before, or both on the podcast and to like Colton, because he's definitely an Iron Man hater, is the only thing that stopped Tony from being bad was the people around him. Like, he needed someone to pull him back constantly. Like, hey, you're going too far. Like, when he was like, yo, we need a suit of armor around the world. That is not something not something heroes say. Like, that's
actually something somebody who just spun on the ops said.
Exactly.
And they like, yo, I think the ops about to come back, y'all. I think we should put a bulletproof vest around my house. What is that? Nigga, what are you doing that you need that?
Bro, that's not something heroes say, bro. Like, he has exhibited all the characteristics of a villain. He's egotistical. He's full of himself. He always thinks he's right. Like, these are all villain traits. Like, it's hard for him to just admit he had to, like, literally be 20 years into Iron Man to do the sacrifice that he made fun of Cap in the first Avengers for saying that he was willing to do. Like, when Cap was like, yo, you're not the type of guy to lay your life on the line for the team if it means everyone else gets to live. He said, no, I would just cut the wire or some shit like that. Until it came to the point where he realized he had to be that person. It took him 20 years of friendship with people around him to become that guy. So now let's just isolate that. And Iron Man story is the exact same way, where it starts off in Iron Man 1, where he's making the weapons, the shit explodes, he gets caught in the chest or whatever, and he doesn't have a roadie. He gets caught, he finds his way out, he comes back to America, and he's just like, yo, I need a way to keep us safe. And the best way to keep us safe is to make weapons so powerful, so dangerous, that nobody would ever fuck with us. You know whose literal ideal this is, even though I cape for them all the time? This is literally the story of Eren. This is literally the idea of, to keep people safe, I have to literally destroy men, women, and child from the other side to scare them to the point where they would just never fucking touch us. And I feel like this is that version of Tony without friends, where he's isolated and there's no one to be like, hey, bro, I think you're kind of fucking wilding.
True. Okay.
And he becomes Doom.
Okay. So, firstly,
Okay.
before I say anything and before I go off about anything,
Okay.
I will say that Dennis' point is very valid. It's no, I'm not even joking. Like, it's an amazing point because yes, Tony, the Tony that we know, is probably more in line with Doom than with the Tony that we've read in the comics or whatever.
1000%.
Also, the MCU is not the comic books. We should never expect that. The comic books is not the MCU. We should never expect that. The synergy happens sometimes, of course, but it's never really the same thing. Yes. You can't tell these stories in like 1-2 hour movie. It's gonna be hard. You get what I'm saying? Yes. This is still an ass pull. And this only reason why this is still an ass pull is because this is hitting the panic button. Because you explained it earlier. Like, we had Kang. We had a whole plan with Kang. Like, almost to the point where the nigga was gonna do a movie by himself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a theory that they always had this Robert Downey Jr. casting, and that was supposed to be like the real main villain, while Kang was like kind of like tricking us in a way. Like, I felt like they was gonna keep Kang, but it was gonna be Kang and Doom at some point, right? So, like you said, the Kang shit fell through, and they was like, we need Doom. And I truly believe that the Robert Downey Jr., and I'm not trying to take anything away from Robert Downey Jr.'s talent, how good he can be, how amazing he is, but I truly believe this is 100% a panic move. Like, as a 100%, like, our things kind of fell through, and like, we know he not only will he bring butts into seats, but we know in the back of everyone's mind, they're thinking Iron Man. They're not thinking Doom. That's my only issue. Like, my only issue is, yes, he's Doom now, right? And we have to actually, it's funny because you just did it just now. Where there's going to be some people that listen to this podcast, and they're going to hear Robert Downey Jr. and they're going to think Iron Man. You immediately was like, no, but he's more in line with like we have to actively argue with the fans that this nigga is Doom and not Iron Man.
Yeah,
which I think is where the disconnect comes between like maybe like me calling it an asshole and like Disney actually trying to do something good, because like I know at the end of the day y'all doing this because like, nigga, this is good for us.
Yeah, this is good business.
It's good for everybody. This is good business. It's good business. It's good like for the money for everybody. Niggas will absolutely see whatever movie is coming out now because RDJ, Iron Man, Doom, these are all names that like now are gonna be synonymous. Which is that's another problem that I'm gonna kind of have because say they okie doke us and they give us another Doom, right? Because again, like you said, we've been told about the multiverse and how there's the Henry Cavill Wolverine and there's a fucking biblically accurate short Wolverine and then there's like you get what I'm saying? So there could be like another Doom that absolutely just is Victor Von Doom and we can meet him. But has Marvel set themselves up so high that if that happens and we don't like this Doom nigga, are they not like... I'm just saying that they... Either he's just Doom, because I've also been seeing recently in like little snippets of articles and niggas going, no, he's just Doom. Like, there's no other Doom, he's just Doom. And they lie sometimes. But like, if they do lie and they switch to... That's my another issue, because Robert Downey Jr. is Robert Downey Jr. Like, he's a big fucking person, like, to put in a role. If they get some other nigga and he's not good,
that's rough.
That's rough. That's rough. But also we gonna get into the money, so that's making me think that. Like,
so here's
I might be wrong.
Here's my wild conspiracy theory, and I'm gonna save this clip for if this shit does happen. One, I do feel like Robert Downey Jr. is definitely Doom. But he's a multiverse Doom. Most people think that he's a multiverse Doom, and I'm going in with that theory. Now, the reason why I said this is also good for business is because, one, you're going to get people in seats. One, you're going to get people in seats just for Doom, because people want to see Doom. Now, you're definitely going to get twice as many butts in seats, because niggas want to see what Robert Downey Jr. does as Doom. Three, it's also good for business because, one, you had one pinnacle character, which for them was Iron Man, which was the reason why we have MCU. We have Marvel Studios in general because of Blade. Don't get that twisted. But the MCU is because of Iron Man. That's a fact. Now, if he was the one to literally catapult the MCU to where it is, bringing him back is kind of poetic to have him kind of get you out of the slump that you're in now, to now do the opposite of being like the villain that you need. Because everyone's always talked about, like, yeah, you know, one of the biggest problems for the MCU has always been lack of really good villains. You nailed it with Thanos, but for every Thanos, nigga, like, you don't really have that. Like, even you redeemed Loki too. Like, so you don't even
even with like the villains that are actually good villains, something always like people do get nitpicky with Disney, and
They do.
This is me speaking, who's pretty nitpicky with Disney because I like want these things to be better because I they have the resources for it, but like I get the business side of it. Then there's like villains like Killmonger, right? Who are actually pretty good, but you know the crowd looks at certain things and they're just like, well, this is a hotel. Well, this is white guy. Well, this is this. But then they'll look at Thanos and be like, oh, he's right then. Wipe out half of everybody. He's fucking.
But then there's also good villains, and not even necessarily good villains, but good actors that you waste. Because we had, what was his name, Cassilis in Doctor Strange, the first one.
Oh yeah, true.
We had what's my guy, Mickelson in Dark World in Thor. These are great actors that you wasted on these characters, and then we had Christian Bale.
They could have used Mads as fucking Dr. Doom.
So that's where I'm going. We had Christian Bale as Gore. These one-offs of these amazing actors that can act their ass off and can carry a role, and you just kind of waste them. So one of the things that I know that they definitely struggle with, most people do, is a strong, compelling villain across the board. Like, they have good ones here and there. Like, they have sparks, but you need somebody that's going to catapult you to that next, especially where you are right now. So because I just want to,
Go crazy.
So finding someone to do that, and this is where I'm throwing the business in. Let's say it was Mads, because I thought it was going to be Mads too, to be Dr. Doom. This is where my conspiracy theory comes in, and I'm not going to be able to prove it until I do some more research. I feel like Robert Downey Jr. is filling the role of Doom because of contract negotiations. Well, not negotiations, but they have responsibilities. And, you know, actors are always constantly doing, you know, roles and shit like that. I feel like whoever they originally wanted to be the main Doctor Doom, he doesn't have time right now. So what I would tell people to do is between now and Secret Wars, start looking up the actors that are going to be in different movies that would have made sense to be a Doctor Doom. And I feel like once that person's obligations are filled for whatever movie that they have, then the axe pull of Robert Downey Jr. is going to close, because he's not going to just be Doom forever. I just don't see that. It makes sense within the multiverse now, but he's not going to be a permanent Doom. We're going to get the real Victor Von Doom at some point. He's a red herring, kind of like we had with the 10 Rings, with what's my son's name in Iron Man 3, that was pretending to be leading the 10 Rings or whatever. I feel like we're going to get that version again, where we get the real Doom, and you're going to find out the only reason on the back end, not story-wise, we didn't get that Doom is because the nigga had he had obligations in other roles in other movies, and you know how time-consuming MCU movies are. Like, once you sign that contract, we got you for at least 5 years. So I feel like whoever ends up being our actual Doom, you'll be able to look back and be like, oh shit, that nigga was filming that movie at that time. It makes perfect sense why he couldn't do that role versus a Robert Downey Jr. who, one, within the story makes sense because of the multiverse, and two, he's going to put butts in seats, and three, just the poetic aspect of this nigga led the MCU as a hero, died a hero, and now he has to come back. And story-wise, within the MCU, it's great because now your greatest villain was once one of your closest allies. That's an anime trope. Like, you finding out that, oh shit, the whole time, my big homie is the one that I gotta now kill? Like, Spider-Man, this nigga had time to get over Tony. We finally got out of fucking Iron Boy. He's got an apartment. He's eating pizza and shit. He lost his girl. He's down bad. He's the Spider-Man that we all knew. Now we deal with this multiverse shit. And what does he fucking find out? The biggest threat to the fucking world is a nigga that looks just like the man that he looked up to. God damn it! Like that's great, nigga. Like, granted,
I don't like
it's
it.
great. It's great.
It's great. I don't
I
like
get
it.
it. Not liking
feel
it
it.
because of like Iron Man and shit like that. But I just mean like in a story wise,
I mean, yeah,
and it's a
but
multiverse,
also,
so you can get away with it.
my only issue with that is
It does pull Spider-Man back.
everything again is RDJ centric, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But my problem is they use a lot. They're using a lot of what do you call them shits? Keywords.
Mm-hmm.
What are like the hot little words that they use and shit. We gonna shake shit up. We trying something new. Like, are you? Like you are? But you're kind of defaulting back to the old formula with the new formula, and I get that it's I'd rather them say that it's a remix. We remixing shit, man. We about to shake it up just
a little,
different way. Just a little.
Just a
Like I
little.
feel like they're using too many words. I'm like, yes, you say that. Like the Russos, they say like, yo, we gonna try something new, and I'm like, you say that, but then you just got RDJ again.
But you know what it is? If I'm thinking about it as a business, if I was putting myself in the business aspect of this, because we talked about this before. We've done both ways. We've done both extremes for y'all. We gave y'all exactly what you wanted, and you didn't want it. You wanted something new. You told us to give you something new. We gave you something new, and you didn't want that shit either. And you complained that it was not like the old days. I'm gonna go in the middle. I'm gonna give you the
I think
shit.
there's more context. I think there's more context.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of business. Granted, it's not black and white, like I'm saying, but he's part of the old shit, kind of like you were just saying about, like, it's the old face. It's somebody we all know. The new shit is now we're making him a villain. And the reason why we're making him a villain is because we've been doing this multiverse shit. And because, honestly, it's a good payoff for the multiverse. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because if Doom came in now, and you introduce this whole new character, this whole new Doom that none of us are familiar with or whatever, and he comes in and he's a part of this multiverse, what the fuck was the point of the whole multiverse shit? I feel like if the next big villain should have some ties to everything that led us to this point now. So if your big villain was once your big hero, and then once this shit is over, we move on with the MCU to, a main Doom and a main whatever, and just a prime version of everybody. I'm okay with that. But we need how can I put it? We need the cum shot. You jerked us off for a couple years now. You jerked us off.
You've been rubbing us over.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
so long.
We need to nut now. Like, we gotta get it out. And the nut is literally this ending. I told y'all the pod science is coming. Double entendre right there too. Like I told y'all, we need the cum shot. We gotta get it over with. We gotta get it. We gotta end it.
It is such an interesting concept, and yes, this will tie everything together.
It's still asshole. I'm not gonna deny it.
But I will say, the more because we was speaking in business sense. Now I guess we can speak in more personal, like, with our knowledge of like what we know from the universe, from the movies we see, the movies we like, the movies we didn't like, the movies that were new and got shitted on by like critics, and then the movies that were like new and the critics loved it, and we watched it and was like, that's just not that good. What are y'all talking about? So it's just like such a hard echo chamber. Especially because again, they're a business. Like we got to make the decisions that will put the butts in seats, and they're also we're seeing a renaissance, a re-renaissance, as I like to call it, of movies that aren't superhero movies selling a lot. So people are going to see other movies as well.
Right.
The superhero fatigue is wearing off. Whereas like we're interested to see, like niggas went to go see Deadpool. Niggas watched Deadpool, and even with the problems that people had with Deadpool, they enjoyed the movie.
1.5
right?
billion.
You get what I'm saying? And the people who had no problems really loved the movie. So it was like one of those things where it's like, you guys can't do it.
And
It's just
you
that-
got to be careful right now because
Yeah.
kind of like what he's saying with the re-renaissance is after the convoluted phase 4 and everything that went wrong. So far, every step you take has to be the
It has
right
to be
step.
more intentional.
Exactly.
Like everything
So
has to be
when you did
intentional.
X-Men 97 and you know, I was definitely came in here and I was a little concerned, and then we watched that first episode
And it
and
was
even
so
Cyclops
good.
went crazy.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, I'm not
not
gonna
doing
say
it.
these niggas is back, but that's a good start.
That's such a great
And
start.
then we get Deadpool, and that I enjoyed Deadpool a lot. There was problems, no denying that, but overall, great next step.
I will say the straightforwardness of it probably was the best thing. Because my problem, and this is what I was originally getting at, is like the middle context of that conversation about like we gave y'all the extreme and y'all was like, I'm tired. And then we gave y'all something new and y'all was like, this is ass, right? My problem with when they tried to give us something new is they also tried to jam in some like here's foreshadowing, right? So you're like you're getting something new, but then they're also like forcing some other shit that like you're like, does this work? Because so now you're watching every movie thinking about the last movie. You're not watching
To
the
just
experience as it is. As
it's a stepping
happening.
stone for the
You
next.
get what I'm saying? And I think the best thing that Deadpool did was be like, nigga, we are not a stepping
We are
stone
just
for anything.
we're just us.
We're just a thing.
Yeah.
That we just happen. We're here. When y'all need us, y'all can pull us from here. We're here.
And I feel like it's important for them to keep that energy going where like you take the time to craft something good and not be like, oh, this is just a stepping stool for the next thing. Like it's not it's not a 2-hour advertisement for your next movie.
Maybe that's where my worry of this Robert Downey Jr. thing comes from, because I feel like they can just default back into stepping stones. And even your theory, right?
Mhm.
That can be a smooth transition from him like stop being the Doom and go back to kind of being Iron Man, but now he's like kind of a more assholey Iron Man because he was Doom, and then we get another Doom from another universe that's really fucking wildin'. That would make a lot of sense. Like, but my problem is they might just get stepping stony again to do that.
They might, but
And
I
like I
feel
hope they don't do it heavy-handed like they have in the past.
yes. And I feel
That's
like
my
I feel
issue.
like they're learning their lesson. I'm not going to say they learned it, they're learning. And part of the reason why I feel that way is when you think about even how they advertised San Diego Comic-Con in D23, they gave us stuff we already know about. Like they weren't like, "Oh, yo, you should see the shit we writing in the back, bro." Like I'm not guarantee it's coming out, but we writing some shit, and they used to do that. And that's how we ended up with Blade still fucking floating
In
around.
development hell,
Yeah,
yeah.
just because if we didn't know about that shit, we'd be good. Like we just be thinking about what we got. And I feel like they learned their lesson, and it's more, let's just focus on what we know is coming out, what's actually in production, what's towards the end of production. We can talk about that shit now. Not versus, yo, when we was at the resort, me and Kev was talking, was like, yo, that Nova nigga, like, of course. Exactly. So exactly. You gotta pop out and show niggas, like Socrates said. No, I mean, like you can't just tell us about it. Like it's literally the Kevin Garnett shit. Like, why would you fucking tell me this shit if I can't fucking have it? Like, so now it feels like they've kind of dialed it back a little bit and it was like, yo, we got Ironheart, know what I mean? That's definitely coming. We got Agatha in a couple months. Know what I mean?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, like we just a couple, like they've learned. I feel like, or they're learning. And that's why, you know, like movie wise, we don't know a lot of shit that's still kind of in the pipeline. Like, cause they didn't say, we can guess, but we don't know for sure. Like, and I feel like they're kind of keeping it tight-lipped after learning about like after learning from the Jonathan Major shit. It was like, yo, how about we just shut the fuck up and just work with like the couple pieces we have out there.
I will also say they are also on the clock to show us the Avengers team.
They are. They are.
Because like what we're guessing and like because you know there's the specific people like we know
Cap is there.
Sam Cap is already
100%.
on fucking there.
I don't know about Bucky. I gotta see the I
Shang-Chi.
gotta see this movie first. Shang-Chi's definitely there.
Hulk, Captain Marvel.
I don't even know if I could say Captain Marvel. I feel like she doesn't even really want to do the role like that no more because they're like incel fans. So I don't even. So honestly, right now,
We
Shang-Chi
gotta
is
see the team.
guaranteed.
Shang-Chi
That's
is
absolutely
on the team.
happening. We're gonna get a Hulk. I don't know if we're getting She-Hulk. I like She-Hulk,
I think
but
She-Hulk will be there.
we're getting one of them.
If Blade was ever out of development hell, he would have been a prime member to be on the team.
Or
somehow.
I feel like he'd just be a Midnight
he'd
Sun.
be a-
That's
yeah,
that's
he would
that's
be a Midnight
100%
I mean,
happening.
Agatha exists, so like,
Yeah.
nigga, they might
Hey,
as well just
they-
go
they
to
might-
Midnight Suns.
they might need a witch. Know what I mean? Like, we never know.
I'm thinking, bro, like
They're on the clock.
Heroes are on the clock.
Yes, because it's
because we know Fantastic Four coming.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
we
yeah,
know
yeah.
they coming, but
that's already a
it
team.
can't just be them. Like, and the Avengers, the Fantastic Four are not the Avengers.
Exactly.
Like, they work side by side.
But I also think that's part of the reason why, as much as people hated Phase 4, they needed Phase 4.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Because,
Spider-Man. Absolutely.
they need
but they don't remember. But they gonna remember him because he's gonna be just doing
they
heroic shit.
yeah, like I feel like they need that phase where they introduce new people, and everyone was just like, "Yo, there's mad new people." Like, but
Like,
we
I guess
can't
Fury-
get a team if we don't meet these new people. You know what I mean?
true.
Like, so you needed the Miss Marvel episodes to bring in the Miss Marvel. You needed a Moon Knight. Like, you needed these series to bring these people in
I
because
think Miss Marvel's gonna be an Avenger because she was an Avenger in the video game.
I feel like she's definitely gonna be a young. She might start off as an Avenger, but she'll branch off and get her own young Avenger team. So you need this. You need that transition phase where it's just like these are all new movies with all new people, because at some point, like he said, Avengers are going to be on the clock because we need a team, and from what the people that we have now is not really a team. Like, most of these people don't know each other. They've never met.
They said, and then they say they were trying to do Vision to come back. With the
White Vision's coming back, but he's going to be like, that's supposed to have ties to like the West Coast Avengers and shit. Okay. So
what the fuck?
So
man?
we have all these pieces floating around, but it doesn't feel like anything is converging.
On other teams
exactly, converging into like one
all
team.
All the young niggas are going to be young Avengers. So
yes,
they're not even
that's
Avengers.
obvious.
So like Yelena is technically a young Avenger, right? So
she might be an Avenger. She might be an Avenger.
I think she's gonna end up being a regular Avenger.
I think she'll be an Avenger.
But she's in the Thunderbolts.
Or that's what I was gonna come next. She might be like a Dark Avengers because they have the little asterisk next to the Thunderbolts. So clearly that's not the final name of that team, and it's gonna become something else. I'm leaning towards Dark Avengers because I don't feel like that's an Avengers team having like a Bucky with the Yelena with the fucking Ghost. Like, it's definitely going to be like a different version of the team. But if she's on that team, we still don't have Avengers. We literally have Sam Cap, and that's it, and Spider-Man, and maybe Spider-Man because
they don't remember him right now
because of contracts and shit with Sony.
They do contracts, and like even if they follow continuity, Spider-Man don't join the Avengers for a minute.
Exactly. So I feel like even he's kind of like floating in the atmosphere. You literally just have Shang-Chi and Sam Cat. Like, those are the only two I know for sure are definitely going to be an Avengers team.
Maybe Miss Marvel for a little bit.
Maybe.
They don't have a lot of
Maybe we learn a little more in Sam's movie because, they were talking about like the Avengers and shit like that. So maybe we get like glimpses of what they plan to do, but you don't really have a team. And what makes that worse is we're moving past like street level villains.
Yeah.
We're going cosmic. And if the two heroes that you currently have are hand-to-hand fighters,
nigga, and Daredevil, they about to add Daredevil.
So like 3 like hand-to-hand fighters.
It's not gonna work. It's not cutting.
You need more. You need a Nova. Like, we're gonna have to meet a Ghost Rider. We're gonna have to meet some cosmic niggas.
We gotta meet niggas with actual like crazy.
Exactly, because you're not getting nowhere with them niggas. Though I fuck with them, and I'll fight for my nigga Daredevil.
Wolverine might gotta pull up.
You're gonna need some mutants. You're gonna have to fill some gaps and get some mutants and some shit, because the current ground level heroes is not gonna get it done for. Maybe back in Avengers 1, my nigga, but we had Avengers 6.
It's really a problem because like
that's a glaring problem.
It's a big issue
because
especially if they're even thinking of like, we got this Anthony Stark Doom, and he turns into Iron Man. He turns into like basically like a superior Iron Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only him, Cap, Daredevil, like a bunch of like street level niggas.
And another major part of that problem is when you think of like the slate of like movies and shit coming out, you don't really have anything cosmic. Like, we're leaning into Captain America 4. We got the Thunderbolts. We got
but they not Avengers. They
exactly.
Fantastic Four.
We got Daredevil. It's a lot of like ground level heroes coming out for cosmic threats.
I mean, Agatha about to do that shit with Wyken and shit, but he's a young Avenger.
Exactly. So it's like,
and then Agatha, they not gonna work with Agatha.
so like, who is your Avengers team? Like, we haven't met. It feels like we still haven't met most of these niggas yet, because
at all.
based on what we have coming out, you can't even speculate like, oh shit, nigga Nova's gonna pop up, or like
Maybe She-Hulk.
It just kind of feels like,
but even then,
and even then, like I like She-Hulk. But she's only gonna. One, I don't see her getting a season 2 for her show, and two, I feel like it's just gonna. She's only gonna be in the Avengers movies, like, because budget wise, it's gonna be way cheaper to just keep that CGI. To just,
Daredevil Born Again.
I would love for her to like pop up in that, but I feel like it's gonna be too gritty. Yeah, maybe because it's gonna be, because it's gonna be way too gritty for the type of shit like that doesn't kind of fit her tone. But yeah, like, so I'm concerned.
You're gonna have this nigga Punisher shooting at Galactus.
Hey, not too much of my nigga Frank.
I fuck with Frank, bro. But like, what are we gonna do when them cosmic threats?
That's exactly. That's really my concern. Is like, by the time we get to like Galactus being a part of our universe, what the fuck are these niggas doing, bro? Because they already canceled Eternals, so we don't even have like Makari for super speed. We don't got any of those type of niggas.
They probably could bring them back, but even then, like, for what?
Exactly. So like, the fact their story didn't even finish. We don't have Black Knight, because he was at the end with Jon Snow. He was at the end of that shit, and we never got his story.
Blade voice, but we
and that development. And exactly. So like, we don't know what the fuck is going on there. So it's like, who are the niggas that's protecting us? Where's All Might? Get All Might on that ass.
Yo, somebody get Deku out the school. Nigga. Give him a briefcase.
Nah, nigga. Like, yo, you a part-time teacher now, nigga.
Somebody call Batman.
You a sub.
Somebody call Batman. Like, I know he probably would have some plans. For
honestly, that part is what I'm more concerned about, because there's no more ground hero villains for us to fight. There's Kingpin, and he's gonna be dealing with Daredevil. So what are we doing for like the new niggas that's coming? Because Galactus is coming. We don't even have to speculate on that shit.
And look, guys, I love Spider-Man to death. My favorite hero of all time. If he had to be the muscle nigga for like cosmic niggas, I hope y'all love jokes. I hope y'all fucking love jokes, because that's all we really got over here.
And then we still got Thor kind of in development hell, because
that too.
Because we got Hercules.
Then we got the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
And them niggas is busy. Like, so
they in fucking space, nigga.
And that would have been a perfect use of using heroes that you already have established to bring in more new cosmic people through like a channel that you already have. So if you don't have them, fans for whatever reason don't like Captain Marvel. Where are these cosmic?
We need Captain Marvel, though.
We
actually need Captain Marvel.
Where are these channels coming from to explain where these other cosmic beings are coming from? Because you don't have the IPs currently to do that. Like, Captain Marvel didn't do well for whatever reason. I did like it, but we don't have that. We don't have Thor, because that shit failed. So where are these cosmic movies or shows or whatever that are supposed to be avenues and channels to usher in, like,
his daughter in the world fucking shit up in space, nigga. Like, he got to come back. He is gonna come back, so they're gonna have Thor. But he, he does the thing that he always do, where he comes through mad late when they need him at the perfect time, right? So like, I will say he's absolutely on the team, at least for the Avengers movies. I don't know about Thor movies, but I think he's absolutely going to be in future. There's also because that Deadpool scene.
True.
So I was like, he's absolutely.
We're probably gonna. They're gonna have to change the teams around, like,
they're gonna have to change.
Because I mean, we still sitting on Namor. Like, he's not doing nothing. Like, he's just kind of just farting in the wind, like. Like farting in the water. Know what I mean? We got Shuri
is out there
somewhere doing her own thing, so they're gonna have to convince her to come in. Like, they're gonna have to create a team. Like I said before in the beginning, like, the comics are not the movies, and the movies are not the comics. So the teams that we probably have programmed in our brain are not gonna be. It's gonna be some totally different shit, because they're gonna have to use what they got. Unless, again, we get another Phase 4 type of like situation where they're just like throwing new characters at us like rapid speeds, just to get these niggas' names out there. Because I don't see where a lot of these
Unless
people are
they
coming
really
from.
wild out and they just like, yo, mad people just come.
Yeah, there's mad people just here now, y'all.
Yo,
because we still got one.
Captain
We
America,
got
the white one.
we got Wonder Man somewhere. Like
yeah, we got Wonder Man
like
supposed to be somewhere.
it's a lot of just moving pieces that we just don't know where they're gonna end
They're
up.
kind of in development hell, but they also been talking about how they shot some of it. So
And-
it's like, what is happening?
And at the same time, the next Avengers movie is like 2 years away, so it's not that much time to put a team together, like for Secret Wars. So maybe that's where we get the teams.
Miss Marvel's in it.
Maybe that's where we get the teams. Is we learn about we learn more about who the team is going to be when they have to converge people.
About Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we converge people into a battle world for Secret Wars, and that'd be a great way to just be like, oh, this person's here now, y'all, and you don't have to explain it or anything because they were a part of this universe and they all just landed here, and that's just. That's just
Moon Knight gonna do schizophrenia his way, like sit through the cosmic beams. Come on, man. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. We got Ironheart.
All right, so we got Daredevil, Ironheart, Hulk, the Thing,
Cap,
Ant-Man, America Chavez. I don't know why. Wong,
Vision.
Moon Knight, Cassandra Lang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Namor. Fantastic Four team. Johnny
Storm,
Doc,
Doctor Strange,
Thor maybe, Bree maybe,
yeah, okay.
Sue Storm, Reed.
Reed.
Yeah, no. Hawkeye,
Hawkeye,
Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel, and Doctor Doom.
Listen, I like a lot of these people, but honestly, that's not getting it done. Man. That's not good. That's not getting it fucking done, bro.
You gaga.
Yeah.
She know about it.
Exactly.
That's how I feel looking at this.
That's not a. Hey, we in trouble, y'all. We in some fucking trouble.
Yo,
I hope y'all niggas listen to this workout.
You gonna pull up? You gonna go? Ooh, you know how long I've been waiting for this. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I hope you niggas at home work out because we might need you, nigga. Like, I hope you got it together because I like a lot of these niggas, but what they know about cameras, bro? Like, they're not getting this shit. They're not getting this done. So that is more my concern. Of people hated Phase 4 and the introduction of all these characters. Well, we need another Phase 4 introduction to a lot of fucking people if this shit is supposed to take place the way it's supposed to take place in Secret Wars. Because if this is it, I ain't impressed, nigga.
Cooked,
like, we getting cooked. Like, it's Infinity War Part 2, nigga. We are getting cooked. So, I do have concerns in terms of just introduction of good guys, powerful good guys. Because Galactus alone is enough. Like, and then we still had the Celestials. We're probably never going to get explanation for most of those niggas, aside from my nigga that died in the fucking Earth. But everybody else, like, so we just got Celestials, we got Galactus. These niggas just running around. We got Eros, because he was at the end of Eternals. We got Pip. Pip was there. Like,
we don't know what the fuck is happening.
Help! Like,
they gotta cancel that shit too.
Like,
does that even exist anymore?
help! Like, is somebody gonna do something? Because we gonna need a little. Know what I mean? So no. So that was definitely some of my concerns for the upcoming movies. Because again, because this is a good segue. Because we talked about this for a while. The Russos. I trust the Russos. Now they suck at everything else. They do. Like, we don't have to. We don't have
goddamn action though.
But listen,
them niggas be doing it with the action.
Listen, granted, they got 80 mil for Secret Wars and Doomsday, right? There's 80 mil, 2 people, 40 mil each, which is technically 20 mil per movie. Cool. They earned that because if you look at the run that they did Captain America, the Winter Soldier, they did Civil War, they did Infinity War, and they did Endgame. Honestly, if I had those 4 movies in my tool bag, nigga, whatever I want, you gotta give it to me. Honestly, like, if those are the 4, even if all of my other movies that I've ever made suck, that's a hard 4, my nigga. That's a tough 4 back to back. And then you look at how much money these movies made. It don't even matter if all the rest. I could have made Skippity Doo, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Do you
Have
hear
you
the
niggas
4
seen
movies?
The Gray Man?
No, nigga, I was busy watching Endgame again, nigga. Did you see the portal scene that I made,
I'm
nigga?
fucking crying. Yeah, I'm
Like,
not gonna lie.
That's a tough 4. That's a tough 4.
is,
So that
you
just
know.
means we tried other things and we learned this is our wheelbarrow. This is what we good at. You listen, it's good to try new things, but maybe you learn that your fadeaway jump shot is the money. Maybe that's you don't dunk. You fade away, nigga. Like you gotta know your skills. You gotta know your skills.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not coming to Steph Curry for rebounds. I'm not looking for 15 rebounds a game from Steph Curry, my nigga. Like,
You're right.
so maybe they learned, hey, superheroes are our thing. We got that. This is what we're gonna do. So for me, I trust in the 4 movies that they did, all bangers. To me, all 4 of them shits is bangers. Now, how many times are you going to watch Endgame from beginning to end? Maybe you don't watch the whole thing from beginning to end. But I can always guarantee from now until the day I die, I will remember what the theater was like during that portal scene, nigga. That is generational. I've never felt like that in a movie theater for any movie. I don't care if it's superheroes, like indie, nothing, nigga. Like, that was a moment. The fight in fucking the knife flip. I don't even have to tell you what movie the knife flip was in. Niggas already know. Like, so if that's my bag, nigga, like, you gotta respect my bag. Yeah, I got a couple gray men in there. I do. But I had to learn that maybe I don't make those type of films no more.
I will say that the niggas did learn how to do continuous one shots mad amazingly.
Hey,
I think they've been practicing.
Hey, and till this day, they got the best version of Thor to me. That scene with him with Rocket on the ship, and he was just like, yo, son, like, anger, like, it helps you focus or whatever. And you just like, yo, bro, like, but what if you lose, though? Like, yo, like, well, what more I got to lose, my nigga? Like, he acted like that with a puppet, my nigga. Like, they literally held a plush fucking raccoon in front of him, and he acted that's the best Chris Hemsworth acting that nigga's ever done. It was with a plush toy, my nigga.
Yo,
and they got that out of him. So listen, I want my 80 mil, nigga. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So for me, I'm happy that they're on board, and they demanded 80 million. Again, 20 million to direct 2 movies. I mean, 40 million a piece, not bad, but at the same time, that's a lot of fucking pressure. And I don't think too many people were willing to jump in to take on that type of pressure, my nigga. Like that. And then you got to think about schedules for all these different actors. Like, all the people that we name is probably not all the people that's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
So you think about all their different schedules and getting all these people in to do all the scenes that you need them to do with minimal reshoots. That's a lot of fucking pressure to get that shit right. And then you got like the whole controversy with Robert Downey. It's a lot of shit riding on your success. And you 4 for 4. So if you gonna bring somebody in, baby, like, we not taking chances of somebody new. Sorry, Raimi, we not calling you, my nigga. Like, we gotta call what works. And these niggas have worked. You know what I mean? So, talking about money, let's move on to Robert Downey Jr. So before we started this episode, I was talking with this nigga about this shit.
I agree.
And I'm going to tell y'all my opinion from 2 different perspectives, right? Again, because I'm very passionate as a fan, as a creator, but also you also have to understand the business aspect of it too, right? And I think it's fucked up that you can give anybody $100 million for just 1 movie. Because they literally just said it was for Secret Wars. This nigga, Robert Downey Jr., has like a $100 million contract. That is insane. That is literally the same as the movie Denzel's son was in, because that shit was like 80 million plus 15 million for Godzilla -1. So you have literally the salary of 2 movies. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like,
listen, somebody give me my money.
but at the same time, it's hard for me to knock that, because as a creative, one thing that creatives tell creatives, or anybody should tell creatives, is you should get what you're worth. So if I can guarantee butts in seats, my nigga, and I led the MCU to the greatness that it is, my nigga, I want my whole 100 million. I'm sorry. I want it. I want it. It's mine.
Not only
it's
that. Mine. Y'all ever heard of something called Oppenheimer, nigga? I was in that.
I was acting my ass off. You got to give it to me. You got to give it to
give
me.
me my fucking money that you owe
Again,
me. Y'all know y'all owe me. And that's the crazy part. That's the part of the 100 million, right? Which is, I think, is the more context of the 100 million and why I'm not even against it, even though it is kind of gross.
It's gross,
that, like,
but
a
at the
company
same
can just give
time,
one person
you
100
got.
million.
If I earned it, it's
But
mine.
here's the thing. He's made them billions.
Bro, easily.
Billions.
Easily.
Billions.
And not just the movies, merch, toys, everything,
He made
nigga.
them billions. So,
You
100 million.
That's nothing. That's a drop in the
is
bucket.
a sneeze.
That's nothing.
Like for his value. Actually.
Exactly, because that's what you're paying me for is my value.
It's kind of crazy that everybody has value like that or not like that. But,
Right.
Like, hey,
You got to give it to him. You know what I mean? Like I said, as a creator, like I can't knock, because at the end of the day, he is a creator. Granted, he's making tons of fucking money, but he's still a creator. And if that is what he can negotiate from Disney, I can't knock that, nigga. Because if I say no, that's wrong, they should cap his total. That would be like somebody capping my total, like whatever I'm worth. Like somebody saying like, no, this is your ceiling. So I can't do that for him because if he can make his ceiling higher, that makes my ceiling higher. Because then I could definitely, whenever I get my value to, wherever I get my value to, you have to pay me based on my value, not based on, no, we can't give that type of money out to somebody. Like, no, but if that's what I'm worth and I'm getting butts and seats, I'm getting people talking.
you know what's about to happen.
You got to give me what I'm worth, my nigga. Like, it doesn't matter. Now, what I can say is, while he gets that, I think it's unfair that other people don't get their value. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Granted, it's hard to compare because I saw this on Twitter and I understood both sides. They were like, yo, it's kind of wild that he gets like 95 mil to like 100 million and like Angela Bassett got like 350K for her role in Wakanda Forever. That's insane, right? Totally understand that because she is a fantastic actress.
She could have got them a goddamn Oscar for that shit.
At the same time, when you think about the movie, beyond her like great scenes, no one's thinking about Queen Ramada. Like, I'm sorry, like she's not a like what Iron Man means to the MCU is not what Queen Ramada means to the MCU. It's unfortunately. Now, as an actress, I can agree she should have at least got $1 million. Like it's a lot more than that. I'm granted she doesn't have a huge scene. Like you said, she could have got them a fucking Emmy. She's worth way more than that. But at the same time, you can't she's not going to put $95 million worth of butts in seats. Like,
that's true.
Like her role in the MCU and even in that movie wasn't that extreme to the point where it's just like, oh my god, that's
kind of fucking crazy.
That's what I mean. Like she deserved more than that. She just wasn't going to get his type of money.
I get what people are saying. I don't think they mean that he should get her type of money. I think they just mean that she should
get more money because of who she is. Yes. I'm still me, nigga. Like,
it sucks. It's just,
I'm still fucking me. So I do. No, I mean, yeah.
Black actors.
Hey, because he was about to slow down and like stop himself, and I was like, nah, nigga, like that's because that's where we was going next. Like,
people don't value women and like actors of color.
Exactly.
Black actors.
So I feel like the only other person that could have, in time, would have probably hit that type of number would have been a Chadwick. Because he was well on his way with what he did with Black Panther. Because when they put Black Panther out, honestly,
and he was already an amazing actor.
They were not expecting Black Panther to do the Black Panther numbers. When that shit came out and it was like literally everywhere, and like niggas was dressing up and going to the theaters like dressed as like in like African garbs and shit, and like everything that came, the whole cosplay aspect, like
it was kind of crazy.
They did not expect that shit.
They did not.
So when it turned out like that, if he got to be here, God rest his soul, if he got to be here for a Black Panther 2, a Black Panther 3, the numbers that he would have been bringing in as a black actor, and he would have basically led the MCU, like on the positive side. Like, I mean, like as a good guy, he would have been like one of the main good guys.
He would have been the leader.
Exactly. He'd have 100% been the leader of the Avengers at that point. Like he had that star power. 2, he can act his ass off. And like I said, like culturally, like everybody was fucking with this nigga, bro. Like he was it. He was it. It's just shit didn't work out that way. And the only closest person that had a chance at some shit like that fucked it up with a white woman. And now he's just where he is now. So like, if you're Disney, is like, yo, like, so who are we giving this money to? Like, we got money to give somebody, and all the niggas we would have gave this money to,
Just fucking up.
so you got to go with what works. On the business aspect, what works, nigga? Like, regardless, niggas gonna go see what RDJ is gonna do. Regardless if you're going to like nitpick or you're going to celebrate the shit, you're going. And guaranteed butts and seats, they gonna make that 95 mil. That's light work. That's Thursday. That's Thursday.
That's the premiere.
Yeah, that's Thursday, nigga.
That's pre-sale, actually.
That's Thursday. That's nothing. Like, we getting that back. We already got it back through Deadpool and Wolverine, honestly. Like, like, we already got his money from
and
that.
through
nigga.
everything else that we've been putting.
Yeah, like, we already got that money back. So that's like nothing. But I do understand how people feel about like the pay aspect, because then if you want to break it down further, because like I said, I agree that people get whatever you can negotiate, that's what you get. Like, it's not even about what you feel your value is what you can get out of the other person. Like, because you could feel like, yo, I'm worth 50 mil, but if you can negotiate 75, then guess what? You worth 75, my nigga. Like,
That's a fact.
Know what I mean? So I feel like that part, got it. From a creator and business aspect, got it. But then you think about, it wasn't that long ago, we just had writer strikes. SAG Ultra, we had all that shit going on. Niggas is talking about that they can't. Niggas need GoFundMes. Know what I mean? Like, do you know how insane that is? To be in the same industry and niggas.
That same VFX people from that shit not getting paid enough, and they're gonna have to crunch because they making this movie 2 years before it comes out.
Bro. So like, shit like that is where I would end up having a problem. Cause it's like, yo, if you got 95 mil for this nigga, 95 mil feeds the whole cast, my nigga. Like, that feeds everybody. That means you got it. Like, why y'all? I don't like shit like that. And then to make it a step, take it a step further, and this is something that I haven't figured out a solution for yet, but the closest thing I could relate it to would be like NFTs, right? The thing about NFTs, like at its height, was the fact that as a creator, like if I made a painting, and that shit was I made a Metahumans painting, and that shit was the flyest shit ever, and I sold that shit for like 10K. Colton buys this shit. It's like, yo, I got you, 10K, boom. Now he owns this shit. I do other paintings. My value goes up. The painting that he bought for 10K is now worth like 100K, nigga. He sells that shit. He's up 90K. But I don't get anything for that shit. But I made the shit. Like, it's literally my my idea, everything about it, all me. Then I built my brand. I became bigger. But he ate off of that. He ate 90K off of that shit, and I get nothing for it. I like the idea of how NFTs work in the sense that no matter how many times he sells it to someone else and they sell it to someone else or whatever, I still always get a residual from that. Like, it could be 10%, 5%, whatever. Whatever I negotiated from the first sale, that is what it's forever, nigga. So every time it sells, I'm going to get a little something for that. And I feel like something like that should exist for like comic book writers. Nigga, you guys are like creating these stories,
they're the lifeblood.
and it literally, the movies are eating off of what you created. Civil War doesn't happen without you. Infinity War doesn't happen without you. Like, none of these shits happen without the stories that they created, and they're struggling. Meanwhile, granted, the artist is the actor is doing heavy work in terms of getting butts and seats, doing the right thing, getting, all that's true. And I'm not saying take money away from that person, but at the same time, that person doesn't have a job to do if we don't write the story that blew up. So I feel like they need to find some sort of like common ground. Granted, it is business. Again, you got to negotiate what you can get. But I feel like there should be a system in place for IPs in terms of like book ideas, like that type of shit. Because usually when you think of like jingles or some shit, like if I came up with like Pusha T came up with like the McDonald's shit, he still eats off that shit every time it comes out on a fucking commercial. So like, why can't like writers that create all these different stories, like if I created the fucking Venom verse or some shit and you niggas adopt that shit, or Maximum Carnage or some shit, why am I not getting anything from that?
It's crazy because
that's fucked up.
Because Marvel and them went broke in the 90s and sold their shit to everybody, and then when they bought their shit back, Disney bought them, and then all the creators who were amazing people who made great, amazing, timeless art found out that niggas' rights was just been sold left and right. So now big corporations legit own niggas' rights. Like the nigga who wrote, what was it? Is it Sandman?
Neil Gaiman?
Is it Neil Gaiman?
I mean, he wrote Sandman.
But it's one of those guys who wrote something that absolutely hates DC. It's the nigga who made Watchmen.
Oh,
Like because
shit. I forgot his name. But yeah.
they like own his shit.
Damn.
And they will not give him his right. And then they was like, "Oh, we tried to sell it back to you," and he was like, "Y'all did not try to sell it back to me. Y'all actually." No, he was like they was like that we tried to give it back to you, and he said, "Y'all didn't try to give it back to me. Y'all tried to sell it back to me, and y'all tried to sell it back to me for so much money that y'all know I did not have."
Exactly.
And like
that's the part of
that shit is fucked.
That's the part of creating that I don't like, is when the business influences that part. Because if you keep these writers happy and they don't have to worry about bills and shit like that, they're gonna have more time to create. And the more time you have to create, the better things you can fucking create, because you don't have to worry about, oh shit, my phone bill is due. Oh shit, my kids need like school clothes.
Yeah.
Oh shit, like what are we cooking for dinner? Like you don't have to worry about simple shit like that. You could just literally focus on the art. So that is the part of like business and like greed that I hate. And that's why I brought up the NFT thing, because that's something, while NFTs are probably like, they're past like their heyday or whatever, the idea of that, where like you can sell something to someone and they buy it, and as you become bigger or small, whatever, and they sell it to someone else and they make a profit, you also get something from that forever, no matter how many times that shit sells. And I feel like something like that in terms of stories for like a civil war, or like, like Ragnarok, and, like using these things,
Yeah.
I should still get something for that. Because honestly, if I wrote Infinity War, my nigga, my book sold pretty well. I was, like, this one of the few stories that I wrote, like over the years or whatever, and I did all right, like for a book, it did really good. And then I turned the TV on, nigga, and y'all talking about this movie is like a top 3 film in history, and it made like $3-4 billion. And that's just the movie. We're not even talking about merchandise. We're not talking about like toys. We're not talking about like film rights for like, like putting that shit on like different streaming services and shit. And I don't get anything? Like nothing?
Bro, it's like the music industry, bro.
Like-
niggas will legit like here's a good example. Joe Budden just got his plaque.
This is insane to
That's
me.
gold
This is insane.
for Pump It Up. Before anybody, like, I know the people that's in here understand, like, you've heard that everywhere.
Everywhere, bro.
TV spots,
That's impossible.
commercials,
That's impossible.
movies,
I don't even. That's a
in
scam.
video games.
That is a scam.
On every radio station. Like Radio Disney who used to play that shit. Like, yo, bro, you got served. Like, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like,
That's triple, quadruple platinum. That
I was
don't.
like,
That makes no sense.
this kind of don't make sense.
And all right, before you continue, because I just want to get this one point out. This is the part of like when it comes to like creators, eating creators, that I don't like, because a lot of niggas that make music was laughing at that, and for me, that's concerning. Because if a song, just like he just said, did all those type of spins, was everywhere, it's in video games, in movies, on commercials, on radio, it's like everywhere. Number one, granted, one hit wonder, ha ha ha, cool. But that song was fucking everywhere, bro. And
Everywhere.
for that song to take 20 years to be considered fucking gold.
Is insane.
Now, if I'm an artist in today's era and I know I'm not getting those type of spins, I should be fucking concerned. Because
be
if
very
he is now fucking gold off of that, what the fuck
look,
am I?
and
I'm
this is-
triple
this is
plastic, my nigga.
literally not only 20 years later, the nigga is in a whole new endeavor where he's going quadruple platinum. Like he's like a podcast god right now. So like for him to get that now, after he's been retired for a while,
Bro, like,
it's kind of crazy.
and that's just taking out however you feel about him as a person.
And, yeah,
like,
I'm
I'm
just
just like
talking
a
about the
business.
numbers,
Like, that's
the
insane, bro.
spin's perspective, because I think like it's easy, because this will go back to the value conversation. It's easy for people to pull up somewhere and be like, this is how much you're worth because I see you do this, or this is how much you're worth because I don't see you do this.
Right.
And that doesn't really change the fact that if the person's work is good, it doesn't matter what you see or don't see. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it really matters on the quality of the work and how good it is. And how impactful it is, how many people that it reach. And it's hard to quantify how much people something reaches without a very specific algorithm. And that's why like that 500K Joe Budden shit is kind of bullshit.
That's
That's why
super
like
bullshit.
that's why like when niggas be like, oh, we gave the comic writer 10K for this movie, he should be happy. When like the movie made billions,
Bro.
it's like, bro, like how does this even make, like, first of all, what happens when any comic book character is announced? That comic goes crazy in
Every
sales.
single time. Every single time.
Crazy
And I
in
could
sales.
attest to that because when James Gunn came out with all the different things that he had it for the new DC slate, I went out and got Woman of Tomorrow. I went out and got Creature Commandos.
Niggas
Like,
just start hiking up prices.
exactly.
Right? And again, the creator, I mean, yeah, he'll get his residuals from that day when it like kind of
Which,
like
by the
pops
way,
up.
if you guys don't know, if you don't make books, is not a lot.
It's not a lot.
I've made a couple and it's not that great. I could not live off of that.
And it's like, nigga, yeah, the streams went crazy today for this. Like, people fucked with it today for this. They like bought this comic a lot today for this. But then like you look at a comic shop or like somebody who's a reseller that has a bunch of their work is making like 100 times whatever they're making in like an hour because Robert Downey Jr. decided he's Dr. Doom now. So the Demon in the Bottle comic, which already was mad expensive, is even more expensive. And niggas are making like goddamn close to 500K
And that,
like in like a weekend. And like the fucking artist gets nothing.
and that is probably the foundation of my problem with this whole system is what's the value of being a creator if you're the one that gets paid the least? Like, everybody makes more money off of what you created than you.
Resellers will kill you.
Everybody. Like, everybody's eating but you.
The other like the everyone.
But you made the channel. Like, you made the plate. You made the table for everybody. And you're the only person that doesn't get a plate. And I think that's absolutely insane. And that's why, like, while I do support the money that Robert Downey gets, I feel like if he can get that, the people who made the roles that basically got him his career back, because it was over for him before Iron Man. So for that movie to catapult him to where he is now, the people that created that shit for him to like catapult his career and get his career back, they deserve more than what they're getting, which is most of the time nothing. Because if you follow a lot of them, which I do,
yeah,
they literally, like, you see GoFundMe. You see niggas like literally like, yo, such and such who made this beloved comic died, and we have a GoFundMe because they didn't have health insurance or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That's
Sucks because
insane.
You'll even see the people who created these things, like even be very tight-lipped and be like apologetic for saying out loud that they've been fucked over.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to see somebody who had created something that's making billions of dollars and they're on the internet like, yo, I didn't want to have to say this because I don't want to ruffle feathers, but I've been struggling and blah blah blah, and I didn't get enough money for this, and I thought I was gonna be paid this, but I ended up not getting paid. You know, I don't want to really ruin any relationships or my career.
That's
And it's
insane.
like,
That's insane
crazy
because
that
I
you
shouldn't have to do
you
that.
getting fucked over
Yeah.
for something you created.
Exactly.
Like, you should be able to be like, look, I got fucked over. I don't have hard feelings, but this is
No.
fucked up.
You know what this
Like,
sounds like? And I hate to use this, so trigger warning, but this literally sounds like you apologizing for rape. That's literally what it sounds like. It's like literally you were taken advantage of and you're the one apologizing.
apologizing for abuse. Yeah, for being abused.
Yeah, like, that's
is.
insane.
It's kind of like Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Because
I
that's
think that's
kind of what these companies and like bigger. Yo, bro, we're on this podcast. We've been on this podcast for a while. I've rapped. I've been in a rap group. I've danced. I've been like approached by a lot of like companies and places that wanted to sign me or wanted me to be talent or wanted to something like that. You always come to find out that like your talent is what brings you in. But when you get in there, it's like whatever they gave you now.
Yeah.
So like if like the shit is not happening the way they want it to happen, they gonna make you feel like you are not good at like whatever you do.
Yeah.
You're not worth whatever you think you're worth.
Yeah.
And like that is like what he's saying. Like it's kind of like demoralizing
Yeah.
to be like, yo, bro, like I have to apologize to you
For not being good enough or
for
something
not
like
being good enough for you. When like I could just be like, yo, I could be better. Or like even I have to tell you that I can be better when I know I could be better. Like I don't. Why am I making you feel better for something that
Yeah.
makes me
And
feel
in
fucking
even in a
crazy?
worse situation than that is like if you're good at what you're doing and you're successful at what you're doing, but they're eating more off of you and you're apologizing for wanting more for yourself.
Yeah, that,
Like if we made 100 million and I got 50K, I should feel a fucking way if the reason why we made 100 million was because of the idea that I came up with. Like
exactly.
that's insane.
It would almost be like if we got a podcast deal, right? And they was like 200 mil, and then they go, Colton, you get 150, Dennis, you get 50. I'd be like, absolutely not. What the fuck are you doing
Exactly.
right now? What does that mean? Like, there's first of all, it's three of us.
Facts.
First of all, it's three of us.
Facts.
But for real, like, you really looked at both of us in our faces and said, this nigga's worth more than this nigga. And y'all gotta deal with it.
And honestly,
right?
honestly, that's how, and I can't even, I'm jumping out on a ledge, but I feel like that's what happened to Jesus and Mero. Like,
I think so too.
that's how niggas get split. Niggas was
That's how
fine.
those groups get split.
That's
bro.
how niggas was fine. And now, like, neither one of y'all, like, I mean, granted, Mero's kind of doing this thing with Carmelo and shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not what it was. It's not what it was. You let them break that shit up. Like, you come in with a plan and you know what you're worth, and then you tell them if they don't want it, you honestly, I feel like one of the things that creatives also forget, you don't have to take it. I know it sounds insane because you know, like if you're struggling, like 40K sounds great if you're struggling. But here's the thing, you was already struggling and still making it. So you don't have to take that. And if they came to you, you didn't come to them. They came to you.
Exactly.
You don't gotta do that, bro.
I was talking to one of my homies about this the other day because I guess they're not really a creative, so they don't understand that because they was talking about like being offered a certain amount of money for talents, right? So they're like, yo, you mad talented. What if somebody came to you and was like, oh, 100K for you to do this, but you can't do this, or you can't do this with this person? I'm like, I'm not going to take it. And they was just like, yeah, but that would change your life. I was like, yeah, it could change my life, but here's the thing. I didn't come to them and was like, yo, I'm selling my thing for $1 million. And then they was like, here's the ultimatum since you're trying to sell me this thing. I was like, that's a different situation.
Exactly.
Now I'm selling you something and then you go 750K. I might take that because obviously if I'm selling my idea, I obviously think that like I need this money right now.
Exactly.
Like, but if it's like a pod, like I was talking about the pod and they was like, oh, if somebody came to y'all, like Spotify came to y'all, like 50 million. Like, but they would be like, you guys have to have these guests, and it's like always a problematic person. I'd be like, no, we would not take that. And then he was like, yo, 50 million is so life changing for like, and he was like, what if it's like 24 episodes? I said, I'm gonna be real, bro. 24 episodes being publicated by one of the biggest fucking platforms of all time is gonna live forever. And I don't know if that 25 million that me and Dennis split up is gonna be worth it when we're hated by everybody,
Exactly,
including family and shit.
Exactly.
I can't sell myself for shit like that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I feel like,
and I love what we have,
right?
And I value it.
So I'm going on record for saying one of the reasons why, especially during the height of you know, podcasts and, you know, people getting deals and shit like that, I've never once pursued a deal for the podcast from anybody. To the point, like, I like what we have as just us here, to the point where like even Colton has come to me with like, yo, we should like have guests or blah blah blah. And it's like, no. I like
we don't need that.
We can survive off of just the shit that we talk about. We don't need guests. Granted, we love a lot of y'all, so this is not a shot at anybody. It's literally just, I like this format.
That's also why we made other side shit.
Exactly.
So we can actually have guests.
Exactly. So, but this podcast, as you hear it, is always going to be like this. Like, I don't want additional people. Granted, if we come up with like some idea that it makes sense for that person to be there, yes, but I don't want guests. We have our nerd banner and we talk about whatever we talk about, and sometimes we get heated and sometimes we just joke too much or we get off
that's a
topic
fact.
or whatever. But that's what works and that's what I like it to be. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to always, and I think that's part of the reason why like I don't like contracts and shit like that, because you get locked into some shit where like you have to do 20 episodes. And if you don't do the 20 episodes, we get to sue you. And then on top of that, you got to think about like IP. We own everything here. Everything that you see here,
Everything
is
is our shit.
So
Like-
you go to a Spotify and they're like, oh yeah, cool. We'll give you 25 mil or we give you 30 mil, 15 mil each. But here's the thing. The name Old Dirty Dennis is our property now. Pizza Parker is now our property
Also
now.
never
Like,
had to deal with.
I don't want any of that.
Saying something, people listening, us listening back, and then going, you can't say that.
Exactly.
Like you can't do that.
Exactly.
I can't do that. Or like even like being candid and being honest about our opinions on something.
Yes.
And that's why I feel like it has to stay the way it is. If like we were to get a deal, high key, it would have to be either we change the name of something else and we keep the Mighty Metahumans like this, and we have another podcast with a different name where it's like, I guess
Yeah.
vetted and shit.
Yeah.
Because like the Mighty Metahumans, like I want to talk about movies. And
I want to be
say a
honest.
movie's ass.
I want to be
or
honest.
Say a movie's
I don't want to
good.
find a nice way to say it.
Yeah,
You know,
bro.
I don't want to be like, well, you know, like if they had pulled back, blah, blah. Like I don't want to do that type of
I
shit.
also want to be biased in an environment where niggas understand.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
another thing that I feel like that people be like biased about shit, and they be ashamed to be biased.
And-
Nigga, if you like some shit, you like
And I
some
understand why certain people do stuff like that. Like, you know, like again, because it can be life changing. But for me, I don't like the confinement of someone telling me, hey, that was cool, the episode that y'all did. But what if we cut out the 40 minutes in the middle and we just cut it down to about 20 and you guys talk about this instead?
If Spotify
Then
did this
it's-
episode, y'all would not even hear
You
this
never
part.
hear it. This
part wouldn't even come out.
This would never happen. So like I don't like that, which is why that's how the Patreon, because you guys are listening to this. Aside from
Wait, I'm lying. We are on Spotify.
uh,
Actually, I lied. Y'all actually let us talk a lot. Too much sometimes.
I feel like for the people that's watching versus the people that are listening, that's the reason why we have Patreon, is because we can do the things that we want to do the way we want to do it. And, you know, there's still like a monetary value to it. There's like, you know, but at the same time, it's still our ideas the way we want it. And it's not like being at Fox. You know what I mean? Like to tie this back in the comics with like Hugh Jackman and shit. He recently said like he wants to keep being Wolverine. That is a 180 from where he was at Logan.
That's a
He was
fact.
done. Because
I'm
it
done.
just
They
felt
need to
like
kill me.
we've done everything we can do within this building with what they're willing to let us do. And now he comes over here in a bigger sandbox and learn like, oh shit, I can be the actual Wolverine with like the yellow suit on and like the fucking hair and like crawl around like a full fucking
And I can
Wolverine.
curse.
And, yeah,
I
like
can
I
be
can curse.
broody and
I can like
mean.
do like what?
I'm depressed. I'm drunk.
Like I can do all these things and it's like, and then get paid well for it. And it's like, yo, like,
and I'm not gonna lie, that boy was a huge jacked man.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
That nigga was strong as hell. I was like, what the
yo,
fuck?
so being able to like get that freedom to do those type of things, I feel like it's invaluable in the creative world. Now, granted, if you got a regular job, you driving a bus, you gotta drive the fucking bus, bro. You gotta hit all the stops.
But here's
That's
the
what
thing.
they're telling
Here's
you.
the thing. Nigga, I'm about to hit y'all with some fucking science right now.
pod science.
Some pod science. No matter what you do, you are a creative. If you drive a bus, you don't drive the bus like the other nigga. If you fucking are a teacher, you don't teach like that other person that teaches with
That's
you.
true. That's true.
If you fucking whatever job you do, if you fucking make burgers at anywhere,
If you
you
deco
don't
and you
make
flipping the
burgers.
fries,
If you putting the fries in the bag, you don't put the fries in the bag the same way the other person do. You have value.
no, that's 100%
No matter what the
fact.
fuck people are saying. No, I'm not saying you.
No,
I'm just saying
like
this-
I know
yeah.
I like the point that he made. What I'm saying is like a standard job where it's like there's a certain way to do things.
Yeah.
As a creative, like you gotta come up, we gotta figure out these episodes out. We gotta like
you still creative.
but
so, like,
in that
yeah.
sense, like I get
No.
I get what he's.
I'm just saying.
No,
that,
yeah, because I'm not putting anybody down. Like, I just want to make sure.
No, I'm not saying. No. I'm not. I wasn't doing that to you, baby boy. You're amazing. You're amazing. Don't worry. I know you're not putting anybody down. You never would do that. You're an amazing person. I just wanted to let the people know because I know there's a lot of people that like listen to shit like this and they're just like, oh man, these guys are so funny and creative and blah blah blah. I wish I was creative. You are. You're just in your own fucking sense. And you also have value in your own fucking sense.
You can be a creative without being an entertainer.
Exactly. Don't sit in your office or wherever you at in your break room right now and let people talk to you crazy.
Facts.
Don't go into that negotiation and lowball yourself because
Big
you
facts.
know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Tell them how much you're worth. If they say no, move on. That's pretty much it. Know your worth.
Facts.
That's pretty much all I gotta say. And like, not only that, don't be scared to know your worth because it's easy to shrink in those moments because you feel like you won't get what you want if you say what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's also
Compared
true.
to which might be 50%.
That's true.
And 50% is scary.
That's
Don't get it twisted. Being rejected is scary.
It is.
But the worst they can do is say no. The best thing they can do is agree with you.
Exactly. Like, it's scary, but it's like, I mean, if you know you're worth it,
It's there.
It's there. It's a possibility. As long as you know it's a.
Learn a poker face.
Yeah, you can scream. You can scream in your head all you want.
You
Like,
can yell in your mind. You can just
Don't show
I just
it.
do like a.
just don't fucking show
And
it.
then like in my mind, I'm like, they gonna say no, fuck. They gonna say no, fuck.
You got to go in there with literally the confidence of Robert Downey Jr. Nigga.
That's a fact. 100 million.
He put his dick on the table and said, "Yo, 100
I'm not gonna
million."
lie. What y'all
100
see him
million.
do when he took the mask off and put his hands out like that? He put his dick on the
Yeah.
table while he was in the Disney room. Like,
We're in the
100 million.
mask. We're in the mask. 100 million. He did the Doom voice and everything.
Yeah.
100 million.
100 million.
And they gave it to him.
And they gave
Iger
it to
said,
him.
"Give it to him.
Fuck it.
Give him the check on
Yo,
the way out."
Iger came back because he seen them doing that bullshit
Like, give
and
it to
said, let's go back to the old days.
The thing about the old days, we
We're
like them
back.
shits.
We fucking love it. Those shit sold billions. We need to bring that back.
So yeah, no, like, you know, like really that was most of the conversation was really like, I mean, we started with Robert, but it was really like I understood both sides of that. Like, it is ridiculous, but at the same time, it's not ridiculous because that's what you're worth. But at the same time, if y'all have the money for that, I know you got the money for the
so
other
stop
shit.
pretending like y'all don't got
Because-
money for the VFX writers, for the animators. Stop acting like y'all don't got money for
Iron
that shit.
Man,
Y'all got the money
Iron
for
Man
it.
not hot if there's no CGI. Iron Man not hot if the boom mic is not there, nigga. Like,
Iron Man not
if
hot
no
if we don't
script.
got writers, nigga.
It's
What the
not
fuck?
hot. Like, so
Come on, man. So
all of that is
do what you
all
gotta
of
do.
that is a part of it. So, because yes, he physically put butts in seats, but there's no seats if we don't write nothing. Like, there's no chance of anybody sitting down if there's no story. So
Shit, nigga,
you
and
still
this
need these
This
niggas.
go back to everybody's creative. Nigga ain't no seats if niggas ain't put them seats there. Nigga
Exactly.
ain't no seats if niggas ain't work at the movie theater.
Exactly.
Come on, nigga. Everybody's creative. Everybody creates some shit. Everybody
Giant circle,
makes a
y'all.
part of this
Giant
circle,
circle.
nigga.
Giant circle. Know what I mean? Also,
You gotta start doing it all the time. When it all come back together, yo, giant circle.
Yo, Dr. Manhattan, nigga. Time is all.
That's right.
Everything is happening at the same time.
Everything always happens, boy. You already know how it goes.
But yeah, that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about. That was a good rant. Know what I mean? Like, I hope people that even if you don't listen to comics, you paid attention to like the last 20 minutes of what we was talking
Yeah,
about. 'Cause
that was a really good
That was
conversation.
just, you know what I mean? That was,
Life
you know what I mean? Like, yo, you see the range on your boys?
We be telling y'all,
see the range?
it's a
God
nerd
damn,
pod, but
nigga.
it's really the Gene Lantern
Woo.
just chilling all
Niggas,
day.
boy.
Hey, live enormous, gang.
Shout out to my nigga Cope. All right, you got any final words before we wrap?
Damn.
I mean, the last 20 minutes has been 20 minutes of final words.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to really think about this. We usually talking about all of Robert Downey Jr. and all that shit, right?
Yeah. Give
I
my
guess
money,
the only,
nigga.
I guess the
Fuck
only
that.
I guess the only final words
Baby,
I
I
would
got
say
your
is
money.
I rolled my eyes when I seen the reveal, and I was also a little intrigued to see where they would go. And I also seen the Russos and was like, y'all just doing the same shit over again. I will hold more judgment until I see more stuff.
Me
Because
too.
y'all doing it 2 years before. Let's see how it goes. I don't know what the Avengers look like. Again, that's like
It's a lot we don't know
all the
yet.
problems that I have are things that can be answered. So
With time.
with time, we'll see. I'm just saying that like I rolled my eyes. I rolled my eyes.
That's fine. Because honestly,
That's pretty much it.
we're
But I
early.
get
We're
it.
still early, so
Yeah, true.
there's room. Like if it turns out that it was really a bunch of bullshit, I'm gonna come here and roll my eyes too.
Yeah, true.
But like right now, I'm gonna give you a little. You got the Russos. Know what I mean? You got your main you got your main butt filler in fucking Robert Downey Jr.
Okay,
Y'all gotta
I'm
make
not
some.
gonna lie.
If
Y'all
this
got
doesn't work, panic mode.
y'all got the car, and you got the driver, right?
Make that shit look good,
And this
nigga.
is the
Like
car and the driver
I need to see some drifts.
that has one OD in the past. So that's
You got
the
your
only
Dale
reason
Earnhart.
why.
You got your
that's the
Dale
only-
Earnhardt.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I only rolled my eyes and I didn't go, yo, this fucking sucks. Because like it's like watching like it was like Jordan. It was like what? It's like not Jordan. It's like watching LeBron. It's like watching LeBron join this Olympic medals team and being like, yeah, LeBron gonna be LeBron, and then he's just wild, right? Yeah. This nigga 41. Why he doing that, right? That's how I hope Robert Downey Jr. is
I'm hoping.
in this situation.
I'm hoping.
Because I seen him pull out the mask, and even though I was excited when LeBron joined the Olympic team, it would be like if I was a LeBron hater and I just was. They brought this nigga again. He's good. He's gonna do good. Duh. But like, and then like he won the gold. Everybody's like,
So,
That's gonna be
so I
me,
will
hopefully.
say, because you just saying that just reminded me of some shit, and I had like a random theory about it, and I feel like I did cover the theory, which was when Robert Downey Jr. came out, he took the mask off, and he was like, different mask, same task. I feel like that is literally him telling us that he's a multi-version of Tony. He's just
they said it in the.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know if you read it,
but
but it was like he's an alternate,
Right.
Anthony Stark. He's not Victor Von Doom.
Right. So I feel like that was the perfect explanation why, like, it's hard for me to roll my eyes because it makes sense now. Like if you're going with like it's the same different match, same task where Iron Man was always trying to save the world, and this version of him is trying to save the world just in the most extreme fucking versions with the same character flaws that he has. I'm on board. Just don't fuck it up. But I'm on board. I'm on board. You got me. So as always, this has been another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast, providing you with that high quality nerd commentary. Subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like this episode, because your boys kind of went off, we kind of went a little crazy.
You
Know
kinda
what I
went a
mean?
little
You
insane.
need to see the actual facial expressions. Know what I mean? The boys look good. Skincare's working, going crazy. Know what I mean? Sign up for the Patreon, $5. Gene Lantern, join the gang. You know what I mean? Or sign up for the Dennis Plus. You know what I mean? $10 a month. We the only ones that keeping our price constant. Check your Netflix, check your Disney.
We're
check,
not adding
you know
ads
what I mean?
unless we tell y'all we add ads.
Exactly.
But then don't worry, our ads are very unique.
Exactly. That too. Know what I mean? We not like Max. We not fucking up like Max. Max is wilding over there. They going crazy.
They going
in the
insane.
worst way. They
In the
going
worst
crazy.
way possible. I don't know why
They
they do it.
crashing out for no reason. I mean, we don't got a Zaslav. See, this is why we not signed. Because we couldn't be signed to niggas like this.
Yeah,
But
right.
they crashing out in ways that I could not support. Know what I mean? You can find us on all social media sites as The Mighty Metas. You can find me on all social media sites, Old Dirty Dennis. That's OLDIRTYDENNIS. You can find my cars. If you got a version of yourself that you want to get a car for, you can download some cars. Know what I mean? The digital by Den shit is now on the art by Den, so everything is all together. It's all one universe. It's one giant circle, Dr. Manhattan. Art by Den, DENN. And you can find my son, Colton.
The Colton Show, TheColtonShow __ on Twitter, but everywhere else is just the Colton Show. Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. I'll be everywhere.
TikTok,
man.
everywhere,
TikTok,
nigga.
I'll be everywhere. Also, thecultureshow.myportfolio.com.
Check your shit
Also,
out.
thecultureshow.com. You know, I'm photographer,
Buy some
I'm
merch.
an
You know what I
editor,
mean?
I do a lot of
Sign.
stuff.
Just get this nigga book him. You know what I mean? Whatever you got going
what I'm
on. You know what I mean?
yeah, we out here.
Final word. Send us home.
Final words. It's gonna be a remix of another one, but yo, put the fries in the bag, but like
Creatively, nigga.
but do it your way, cause you are creative. Everybody's a creative. I love you, Deku.
Yo, we out.